Hey YouTube, Justin Cherish here. Working on a 03 f250 with the 7.3 turbo power stroke. Doing the CCV mod, and I've read a bunch of forums, and I've talked to a few people on some throughout Messenger and stuff like that. And I've spoke to a real good diesel mechanic. He races these 7.3s. He drives them every day. He pulls with them, works with them. He's all about a 7.3, and I bought parts from him. Go ahead and say his name, Chuck Dorsey. Dorsey Diesel Tuning does really good. So far, he recommended I do this CCV mod while since I bought the Wicked Wheel 2 to put in my turbo, and I bought the rebuild kit and all that. So I've been tackling all that, but he also recommended doing a CCV mod while I was in there, and so I looked up how to do it, and got some ideas from other people and stuff. So the first thing I done was take off my intake piece, which is from the turbo over here to this, and you take these two bolts right here, and there's one down on the bottom, and then it all comes off, and that's what you see laying off down in there. I just kind of got it pushed off down there and out of the way. I got mine connected to my SMB cold air kit, but he recommended doing the CCV mod because the dirty oil goes through the turbo, and it will collect inside the intake pipe and throughout the turbo, and it's not good for the bearings for the dirty oil to go through there, because it's coming up out of the crankcase and it's not filtered or anything. So he also said that it will clog up your intercooler. Well, not really clog it up, but it just makes a mess and don't have a good airflow like it should. And like I said, your pipes. So he recommended doing this. So the first thing I done, like I said, I took that pipe off with the two bolts. Best thing to do, it's a hard pipe. It looks like it's rubber, but it's actually like a really hard rubber. I just took it and unscrewed those bolts, undoing my clamps on both sides, and I took it and I just pushed it forward that way, or pushed it towards the back of the truck. And it popped right off the turbo, no problem. I was struggling with it, trying to get it off this intake tube, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna push this thing, see what happens. So I pushed it, and it fell right off. So done that, and then you will see this thing here. Take your two screws out, and it's actually that pipe right there is over here with a little elbow that comes up to this thing. So take your two screws out and lift it up, look underneath it, and you'll see O-rings. Check your O-rings, see if they're good or bad. If they're bad, order some, or which I did. I went to the auto parts store, and they had like an O-ring assortment. So I found some that came really close, and actually they fit perfectly. I actually stuck them off down in little slots at the holes of O-rings on this piece on the bottom of it, and man, they stuck. I just flipped it upside down, and you're gonna take that nipple, which is originally here, and you're gonna turn it around and put it out that way, screw it back down. And as far as the hose I got here, I went to Lowe's, and I've got some chemical resistant, so oil or anything like that will not deteriorate it. It's actually made for hydraulic, water, you can run anything, and it's like a universal hose. It's chemical resistant and will not harm you if you drink out of it, as they say, like a hose pipe or whatever. But anyways, Lowe's also had these little coupling pieces, so I put my 3/4 couplings into my 3/4 hose, put some hose clamp on it, and then I actually got to run me another hose clamp on this one right here. It fits so tight I don't think I'm gonna need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put one on there anyways. You see, I actually had to heat it up to soften it up a little bit so it'll slip on there a little better. Now I was fighting getting things slipped on there. So what I do, I'll run it up over the brake booster, and the reason that is because whenever the engine's running, it's pushing oil and air and all that up out of this, and oil will run up only so far though, and then it'll just run back down whenever you shut the truck off. So you want it to go up over the brake booster, that way if you run it straight down, it's just gonna leak oil like crazy. So run it up over, that way it can vent and the oil will seep back down, because it's only gonna go so far. So I ran it up over the brake booster, and then I went back down with it straight off down in there, and try to go around your wires and all that stuff. So that's pretty much what I did, because you want the best flow possible to where your crankcase can breathe. You don't have to struggle pushing air out. So you don't want to crimp your hose or anything. So You run it up over, try not to crimp it, and I went straight down in there, as you see, straight over there. Then I went straight over that, threw some zip ties on it, just kind of ran it along here. Make sure you don't get it nowhere near your drive shaft or your pump, or, you know, try to keep it away from metal and stuff like that where it will rub. It won't rub a hole in it. So zip tie right there. I went over in between where the transfer case is, whatever, in behind them wires there. And the only thing I don't like is right here. I'm probably gonna get me a piece of rubber sleeve or something like that, put right here to keep it from rubbing this frame rail. But I didn't have no other choice but to go down that way. And I'll show you why, because actually it's pretty neat how it ran. I couldn't go in between here because it's just so cluttered, and I couldn't push the hose through, and there's just not enough room for that hose to fit through there. So what I did, I went through that little bracket there that holds the gas tank up, and I push it kind of underneath the gas tank, and I put me some zip ties on there, and you'll see it pop out right there. So it's out of the way. The reason I ran it back this far because I don't want it to dump out right here underneath the truck, right here behind the tire, and then the smoke will fume up into my air conditioning vents underneath my cowl of the windshield. That's where the air conditioner sucks the air from. So that's the reason I didn't want to do that. So that's where I went all the way back here to the back, behind this back door right here. And it's just before this tire. What's that right there? So it's out of the way. And if it does, the smoke does come up, it's just going to come up behind the bed. It's not going to come, like, say if you got passengers that open the back door, it's not going to come up through the door, anything like that. Get on your women when they start fussing about, oh gosh, it stinks and it's going to make me smell and all that good stuff. So that's the reason I went all the way out that way. So, you guys got any questions? Let me know. Have a good one.